In my time with my Etsy and print-on-demand business, I have uploaded hundreds of listings, and I've nailed down a certain flow and rhythm to creating listings that I thought I'd share on this channel on how I go through creating a listing through Printify and pushing it to my Etsy shop that I hope helps those of you who are just beginning with Etsy and print-on-demand and using Printify as your main print-on-demand provider. Now, if you are new to Printify or you have not signed up yet, please check out the links in the description below because I usually have some sort of coupon code that can get you Printify Premium for free for your first 30 days, which is super, super helpful for any new business owner because this knocks off a few cents to a few dollars over time as far as production fees go and other fees you incur as a print-on-demand business owner. So without further ado, I'm going to get my laptop out and we're gonna jump straight into it. So even if you've watched my channel for some time, this is actually an updated workflow that I haven't really shared in the past. And this may actually help those of you who have been watching my channel and just want to know maybe a newer and better way to upload listings on your shop. So now the first step in creating a listing through Printify is designing. Now, I'm not designing in this video. I actually have a design that I created in the past that I just downloaded. So this design is Hedgehog Mother, and I already downloaded this. I will recommend a video to watch after this that I do encourage you to maybe design with me and learn how to design, how to create mock-up images, things like that I'll go over briefly in this video. So the first step of our process is to go to catalog. So I like to just start at catalog home. And if you're new to Printify, there are hundreds to thousands of variations of products that you can create with print-on-demand with a company like Printify that has such a wide catalog. Now I have a video that is the best Printify products of this year and next year that I do recommend watching because I break down a lot of the top selling products that I have sold and that I would recommend others to sell in this year and in the next few years. Now, to just start, we're going to start with one of the simplest products you could possibly sell with print-on-demand, and I just wanted to go to mugs, simply mugs, and we're going to go to the Orca Coatings mug that is the black accent mug. Now this is, hint hint and spoiler alert, for the best Printify products video. This is one of my recommended products that I would recommend selling. I actually have gotten quite a few sales on this mug and hence why it lands on my list. A lot of people like this mug, that it's accented and it's just unique. It's a little bit different than just the classic ceramic mug. And what's really nice is if we look at the pricing for Printify Premium, we're looking at $5.28 with Imagine Your Photos. And then shipping is $7.69. Now, what you'll notice on Printify is there are multiple mugs that have the accent mugs, and there are various prices for production fees. There's going to be different ratings you'll notice throughout the website. Now, this is something that does come with experience, I will say. I've learned through my time in selling with print-on-demand. There's a few print-on-demand providers I prefer due to the country I'm based in and the history with print-on-demand. The mug that I like to sell is the Imagine Your Photos or District Photo mug. These are the two companies that I found have the lowest production prices and just great overall quality over time. So that's just, again, my personal preference. So with the Imagine Your Photos mug, I'm going to go back to this and I am going to click Start Designing. So this is where we will upload our design that we have. So I'm just going to simply drag and drop my design that I have in this listing, and I am going to duplicate the design. So on mugs, this is a kind of personal preference type of moment that we're going to have. Is if you like mugs that are double-sided, this is when I would recommend doing a double-sided mug. If you don't like mugs that are double-sided, then you could just do one side. What I would recommend is you do want it at least on the right side. So if you're doing it one time, make sure it's on the right side. If you are going to duplicate the design, then you will want it on both sides of the mug. For me personally, I found a lot of customers like the double-sided mugs, and it's funny because when I go and purchase mugs at a shop, I don't get them double-sided, but I've noticed a lot of customers prefer double-sided, currently at least. That could always change as years go on, but right now I'm finding a lot of people like the double-sided. So I'm going to duplicate it by just clicking this duplicate button up above. And this red line that's going through the center, this is what's showing that we are aligned, at least vertically, on the mug with the other design that we have duplicated. Now, the other line that I'm looking at is this white, almost invisible line in the middle here. I want my design as close in the middle of that as I can. It's kind of hard to tell with this design, and honestly, this does come from my experience in selling with print on demand for so long that I can eyeball where this is a little bit, but since again the design is kind of slanted and slightly diagonal, it's hard to tell. And this is also where our mock-up images come into play, where we can kind of see with the mock-ups, okay, this mock-up image looks pretty decent, and that is a good indicator to me on how it will print. Now, the next thing to note is, so I feel that I like the size of the design on the mug. I like the placement I have now. The next thing that you will want to select is your color options. So every product and most products on Printify have multiple color options, which is the funnest part of print on demand. And is funnest a word? Is it a word? Let me know in the comments. Let's troll the comment section in this video and write, this is the funnest training, ... Just write, this is the funnest training, ... Troll me in the comment section if you've made it to this part, and I will make sure to heart your comment if you write that, because I love trolling our comment section. Without further ado, we're gonna get back into the colors. So 4 variants on mugs. So not just mugs, but if you're designing for candles or other products that have other colors and sizes. So you have the ability to select your color. And then also for certain products, you can select different sizes. So for the mugs, there is only the 11 OZ of this type of mug. Now I know there's other mugs that have 2 sizes, but for this mug, all we have to do is focus on color, which is kind of nice. So what I personally recommend and what I like just in mugs is the black accent mugs. So that will be a staple. That's going to be my main mock-up photo. Now we're going to get into mock-up photos in just a little bit here on this channel as well, but the black accent mug is one of my preferences. Now there is red that I've seen that sells pretty well. You do want to match usually the mug's accent color with your design though. That is one thing I do recommend, is if you're selling this type of mug, you would want to match it to your design. For the red color, I'm going to click this off because again, I want that accent color to kind of go with the colors I have for my design. So the colors I have in my design is a very soft pink color and then also a blue. So I'm just going to do blue and pink. And I'm only going to offer 3 colors. Now, this is a question a lot of people have, is how many colors should you offer in your listing? Now, what I recommend is 3 to 5 colors. One of the reasons why is because decision fatigue for buyers is a huge problem. And this can actually cause customers to go on your listing. If they see 10 different colors that they like, they may actually decide to not purchase from your shop, or they may add to cart a few items, but end up not checking out because they have too many colors that they like. After we select our color variants, we are going to save our product, and then this will take us to where we are going to fix our listing a little bit and complete what we need to publish this onto Etsy. So first off, the top area of the mockup. So what are mockup images? Mockup images are depictions of your design and how they are going to print on the final item and product that ships to your customer. So we want these to look as realistic as possible. And what's really nice with Printify is Printify auto-generates this as accurately to how this may print to how your customer will receive the product. Now, I will say here, if you're printing on products that are t-shirts or sweatshirts or some type of fabric fiber material, a lot of the times the prints are going to come out faded, and that's because of direct-to-garment printing. So what direct-to-garment printing is it is a printing method that most print-on-demand companies use, in which they infuse ink into fibers of the garment. And what happens during this infusion is, one, it does make the ink very long lasting, because if it's infused into the fibers, that's good for long-term use of a product, right? The downside is it comes out faded due to that infusion of the fibers. So even though the mock-ups are fairly accurate on Printify, just note that you may get customers that may come back and say, hey, this is way more faded than maybe the mock-up photos look like. And that might be a time and a place where you may want to create your own mock-ups on your own and just overlay them onto a t-shirt or sweatshirt and make the transparency a lot lighter. So again, we're accurately representing our products that are going to ship to that customer. Now, what I will say is, with mugs, I've noticed that mugs just do so well. They come out so beautiful. This mock-up is pretty decent for Printify to create and auto-generate for us. I will say that since the design is a little bit hidden back on the edge here, what I personally would want to do for this listing is I would want to create maybe another mock-up on a different mockup site, and this is just my preference. I think the mockups that Printify generates are very beautiful. So I got this super cute mug mockup from Muse Mocks, and although Printify provides a lot of beautiful mockups, I think that this one is just super trendy and cute, and highly recommend. This isn't sponsored, by the way. This is just there's a lot of mockup shops on Etsy that I feel like just need a shout out, and also it's supporting small business with a lot of these mockup shops who work really hard and diligently in taking photos and taking these beautiful, breathtaking photos of products that we as print-on-demand sellers can use. So be sure to support a lot of these other small businesses and mockup shop owners as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my artboard here, and what I will do is I'm going to copy and paste my artboard, and I am actually going to remove the design I just had on there, and I am just going to make a mock-up real quick. Now, this is a segment of the video that some of you may just want to skip because you may like the mock-up that you have on your listing. So feel free to skip to the next part. If you're still with me, I'm just going to create a mock-up really quickly here, and I'm just going to make it in my square frame. Now, you can keep the frame that the mock-up has, but personally what I have found is when I am creating a mock-up image and I post it on my Etsy shop, you usually have to make it a aspect ratio that Etsy supports, and a lot of the times that is a 1-to-1 ratio type of frame. So now that I have my mock-up pretty much centered the way I like it, I'm going to overlay my design that is just the hedgehog mother, and I'm going to make it larger. I'm going to make sure also this is pretty accurate to how it will print. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do this. I'm going to slightly rotate it, because if we look at the mug is rotated the way it's being held. So I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. I'm going to make it maybe a touch larger. What's really nice about this mock-up too is it's just so perfect for how I'm laying the design over it, due to the fact that there's not anything obstructing the area, so I don't have to clip out anything, or I don't have to crop out parts of the design so it fits correctly. So this is pretty much good to me as far as what I have overlaid. I'm just going to also see how this looks on the mug itself. So I just want to make sure again that we're accurately displaying this product and the design over the mock-up. So the M kind of stretches. It looks like pretty much this pretty good actually. We may be just the slightest bit off. I would probably move this just a little bit here just so it's just touching that edge. But besides that, I'm pretty happy with how this design turned out over the mock-up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download my second artboard. I'm going to download as a JPG, and I am going to scale this down a little bit. The reason why I'm scaling this down is because Etsy only allows, I believe it's up to 5 megabytes in a file to download. And I am not going to remove background, but I will optimize quality. I'm going to download as that. And then now I'm pretty happy with this. So what you're going to notice is I'm going to take off a few views here. So I'm actually going to remove these views. I'm going to select this one as maybe the main mock-up photo for now. But I am going to take off the white background ones. So for me personally, this is just my personal preference, but I actually like real life mock-ups the most. So I am just only keeping real life mock-up photos for when I post here and publish to Etsy. So I have selected all of those for the colors. Now for the title, this is something that you will fill out later on. And again, what I recommend after this is my mug tutorial, because I do go over a little bit in depth in SEO and things like that. But for this, I'm just going to put hedgehog mother, and then I will put coffee mug 11OZ, and then I'm just going to put ceramic to describe the product. So now that we have the product description in, this is where we're going to look at our shipping section. Now, if you have not created any mugs thus far, what I recommend is actually putting automatically assign a new shipping profile and not touching this. So when you automatically assign a new shipping profile, what Printify does is it auto creates a shipping profile based on the print provider that you are selecting. And Printify already has this pretty much created for you. There's nothing manual you have to do in the process. One of the reasons why I recommend doing this for every new product and print provider that you select is because you're going to come across different shipping fees per print provider and per product. And you could, if you create a manual shipping profile, you can do that, but you may find that if you're not offering free shipping or you are offering free shipping, you're going to come across some differences in shipping price that you may be paying more for your customer to get that item, in which you should probably, again, just stick to the assign a new shipping profile to begin with so you don't come across that issue in the future. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to do it this way. You can set a standard shipping rate and just set that for your whole shop. And then when you click on this drop down, you would be able to select whatever you have. But you'll notice in my shipping profiles, all of these have different names for the products I've created, because a lot of these are the listings that I have just pushed out as my first product. So Comfort Color C1717 has a different shipping price than what we're creating, which is this mug. So I wouldn't want to assign the shipping profile of a mug to a Comfort Colors or vice versa. So hopefully that makes sense, but any new product and print provider that you create for, I would just have Printify assign you that shipping profile. So again, you don't come across the discrepancy of shipping prices in the future. Now that we have that all out of the way, what we're going to go to next is pricing. Now with pricing, this is a really neat new feature with Printify, but they do have a profit calculator. So let's say for this mug, we're offering free shipping. So if I add in free shipping and I'm still pricing at $14.45, that is not a good thing because we are losing profit. So maybe if I did $19.99, we would be seeing a profit of $3.10. Now, for me personally, I found that offering free shipping and increasing your prices doesn't really help you in the long run unless you have a high profit margin product in which you can afford to lose some money by offering free shipping. That's the only time I would offer free shipping. In this case of mugs, t-shirts, and anything you're seeing less than $10 of profit margin on, I just wouldn't offer that. Here is what I would recommend, at least for my pricing. If this were a newer product and maybe I'm a new shop on Etsy, I would probably price this around $14.99. That's pretty much a fair price and the market as far as I'm seeing for mugs. Now, if you notice, and if you click on this down icon here, you'll see that all of the production fees are pretty much the same across the board on colors. On certain products such as t-shirts and sweatshirts and other products that have multiple variations, you may notice production fees are going to fluctuate as far as the size and the colors go. So this is something that you do want to keep your eye on is, okay, if production cost is different on each, you may be losing money or not seeing a profit with certain listings. So as far as if this were to happen, and if you are on a listing that has multiple production fees, what I would recommend is selecting all and editing price. And instead you're going to click on edit profit. And let's say you just want $5 of profit per item and product. I'm going to apply that. And as we can see with all these listings, now the price is $13.59 if we are trying for that $5 of profit per product that we sell with Printify. Going down, now this is the next really important thing I'm going to recommend to you that is different than what I've done in the past. So I would recommend clicking on Hide in Store under Product Visibility. The reason why I recommend this is because this will automatically publish your listing to draft folder in your Etsy listings. So this is something a lot of people don't know, but once you upload a listing on Etsy, Etsy starts what I like to call or reference to as its interview process and cycling process. So you'll notice that you may see a boost of views on new listings that you create and publish from Printify to Etsy within the first 24 hours. And while sometimes a lot of us like to believe, oh, it's me, that's me clicking on my listing 20 times, it's actually not. And it's actually real customers who are being shown your listings right out of the gate from when you publish that listing. So what's really important here to note is once you publish that listing, Etsy will start showing it. So we want a complete package listing when we publish it to Etsy, in which I would recommend for you to put your listings in draft mode, go to Etsy, complete the listing in Etsy, and then publish it. As far as product visibility goes, the next area we're going to look at is variant visibility. So this is up to you and your preference. For me personally, I like to only show in-stock variants and hide any out-of-stock variants. In my opinion, offering the out-of-stock or sold out, sometimes this can be a problem as far as people might still try to add that to cart if you have sold out listings on Etsy, because if it says sold out, people can still add it to their order and purchase. So I would recommend only showing in-stock variants and hide any out-of-stock variants. Now, at the very bottom, sync product details, I select all. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on publish. Okay, so the final process here is looking at our draft folder, and you'll see right away that Hedgehog Mother listing has populated. So if I go down here, we're going to upload that mockup image that we downloaded earlier. So I'm just going to drag and drop that in. If anyone knows, I am the drag and drop queen. I absolutely love dragging and dropping everything. It's like a tiny little fact that's unimportant to this video, but if that helps anyone, if there's any other drag and drop queens out here or kings or people, just comment down below. I'm going to just adjust my thumbnail. So what I'm doing here is I'm zooming in my thumbnail. Now, this is one thing that I recommend to those of you who are new to creating mockups and your thumbnail images on how far you should zoom in. Now, for products, you want to make sure you have the product actually in display. And I'm not talking about the design, I'm talking about the product itself. I've seen a lot on Etsy where people zoom in way too far. So I'm going to show you an example of what I see a lot on Etsy, which is people will zoom in all the way to the point where the mock-up image is just the design. Now on scroll for a customer, this is going to look almost like a digital file you're selling, and people won't be able to tell maybe that it is a mug if you're zoomed in too far. Now, if you're zoomed in out too far, sometimes on scroll, again, if we imagine a customer is on mobile or on their computer or desktop, a lot of customers are actually on mobile now. So that's something to think about, is how big is your thumbnail image? Is it clear? Can people read it? Again, on scroll, you want to ask yourself that question. In this case, with this listing, I would want this zoomed in a little bit more. So I am going to zoom it to the point that we still have this beautiful hand still in display. Also, if the actual mockup shop watches this video, this is just such a beautiful mockup. Like, I can't get over how beautiful this is and how like just trendy and cute it is. And I love the ring. I just love the aesthetic. I love the scrunchie. Like, I don't want to take the scrunchie out. So this, what I'm showing here is just a cropping. So I'm actually going to X out because that's not what we're doing. We're not cropping. What we are doing though is adjusting our thumbnail. So if I'm adjusting my thumbnail image, this is what I want you to do. So I would zoom in. So you have what I like to say the 4 corners in display of the actual product. You want at least 4 corners in display and a little bit of room outside of those corners, just so we can see the actual product. We can see it maybe on that mock-up image a little bit. So we see, again, that beautiful ring and just the accent of that. Like, it's just so trendy and cute, and our design clearly in display. So I'm going to click done. And then I'm going to scroll down and click apply. So make sure you do apply. This is something that I struggled with for a while, is, oh my gosh, I'm not actually applying my thumbnail zoom in. That was something I found I was doing consistently. So just a quick recommendation to those of you. So now that we have the mockup in here, what we want to do next is we do want to fill out our SEO. For myself, I like to say at this stage in posting hundreds of listings on Etsy, I do have a little bit of knowledge base with writing SEO. This is a part of the video where you're going to be like, Heather, that's title stuffing, right? And to that I say, yes, it is. And that is the current online world we live in, unfortunately, to an extent that we do have to title stuff as far as ranking on Etsy or seeing our listings perform well on Etsy to begin with. So in which we already started with the main part of the title, which is Hedgehog Mother Coffee Mugs 11-ounce ceramic. So what I would honestly do on this is coffee mugs for birthday. So I like adding in an occasion. I like having a product descriptor. So occasion for birthday. And I spelled that really wrong. So we have for birthday, and then the product descriptor, we have 11-ounce ceramic, and we also have mugs. Now you may be wondering, hey, Heather, why do you have ceramic and not ceramic mugs together? Now, here's something that Etsy does. Etsy has a mix and match SEO system. So when you have mug in your title and ceramic, Etsy will match you with any type of search phrase that might be ceramic mug, hedgehog, or hedgehog mother, hedgehog mom. So I'm also going to put a little bit of a different phrase here. So I'm going to put mom, mama, because some hedgehog mothers are mama or mom. I am also going to put a few other phrases that I'm going to look up. I'm going to use EverBee and kind of pull some more things here. So hedgehog mom. So I'm seeing a lot of SEO that's using owner, hedgehog mother. So from this, I'm going to put hedgehog owner. So this is something that I do from time to time, is I try to think of other ways that people are spelling hedgehog too. Now this sounds kind of counterintuitive and a little bit funny, But I found that some people misspell things, and that can be a search phrase on Etsy that you can align to, which is a misspelled word or something that someone's typing in a little bit incorrectly. So I'm going to put hedgehog owner with a space between hedge and hog, and that's not accidental. I just want to say that. But I am going to put hedgehog lover. Now, you really don't need to repeat hedgehog multiple times, but in this case, there's not many ways that I can spell this outside of maybe hedgehog and hedge space hog. So I'm going to put animal lover in between. I'll put gifts for her, him, pet lover, and I'm pretty happy with that. So when you're writing titles on Etsy, what I recommend is filling out 80 to 90% of 140 characters. So I'm at 129 out of 140 characters here, and I'm pretty happy with that because I could keep repeating hedgehog, but there's really not much more that I want to add here. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then in my tags, I'm going to write hedgehog gifts. I'm going to put hedgehog animal lover. You know, I could just do animal lover. Let's just do that. Animal, maybe pet lover. We will do gift for birthday. Again, we want to fill out occasion because with Etsy and the new gift mode, we do want to rank for occasions too, right? So in the other tags, I'm just seeing like a lot of repeated hedgehog, hedgehog, mama. I'll put hedgehog, mother, mom. I'm gonna put for her, for him. I'll put exotic, animal lover. You know, I don't even know if that's considered exotic. Is that even, I don't even know. Are hedgehogs considered porcupines? Because I'm seeing some people use porcupine in their quills. We are learning a lot today. I had no idea all of these things. So I'm going to put instead rodent owner gift. There we go. So I'm going to put now in my tags, I'm going to put ceramic mug 11 OZ. We will do cute, funny mugs. I will also just put cute animal mug. We'll put mug for parent because they're a hedgehog mother, you know, gotta keep that in. So besides that, that was probably the hardest tag writing. I'm not gonna lie, that was so hard to find 13 different ways to say that. Going down, you do want to make sure your return and exchange policies are filled out. We can add this to a shop section. I have a mug section, so I'm just going to add it there. And then at the very bottom, you can set this for automatic versus manual. For me personally, I like setting this as automatic renewal. That's what I go for, and I will deactivate usually after 2 cycles of a listing being on Etsy. If the listing doesn't sell in 2 cycles, then I will set it to manual and let it automatically deactivate on its own. This is my test shop though, so I'm gonna set this to manual. You'll see I'll save it, but just know that in my actual shops, I have it as automatic renewal. So after that, we're gonna publish with changes. Etsy will ask if we are okay with the 20-cent listing fee. We are going to say yes, and then we are going to publish. Now, one thing I want to note in this video is what I would recommend as well in your photo cards is, first of all, maybe purchasing some mockups and more mockups for the pink version and the blue version, so you can have that in your 3 photo cards. The next photo cards I would recommend for a listing is a size chart, and maybe you could do a color chart for the 3 different shades you offer. I would recommend having a QR code to add to a listing. This can easily be done with EverBee. So if you go on EverBee, this is a quick thing, but if you have an email list sign up, This is super fun to do, where you can actually just add in a little QR code. So I can add this to my listings. So this is what's really cool with EverBee is you can take these landing pages. So for an email sign up, for example, so I'm going to download this product image I have here, which is my scan to join my email list. I'm going to drag and drop this template image from EverBee over. And then if I publish my changes here and I look at my listing, then I am just going to refresh my page. So when I refresh on my last page, I have a scan to join for deals. So you can get 20% off by just taking your phone, scanning, signing up for the email list. And that's kind of a really neat feature of EverBee that you can add into your shop. Also, I would add maybe a review photo card. That's a really good photo card to have in each listing. Just to increase conversion rates too. If people see that you have real reviews and maybe even a customer photo review, those go a long way in selling your products and showing the high quality. Even if it isn't this mug that someone took a picture of and shared, if it's a different mug design, you can still at least showcase that in your listings by creating those photo cards. So if you do want to see a video kind of creating these photo cards, comment down below and I can make that in future videos on this channel as well. But besides that, that's the simplest way on how you can correctly list and the best way to list as you go forward in your Etsy and print-on-demand business to hopefully start scaling your listings in the Etsy algorithm. So here's the hidden bonus tip of this video on how to change the print provider, which is super, super easy to do. So if you go to that listing, the Hedgehog Mother coffee mugs, we can click on the 3-dot icon to the right of the screen at the More Actions area, and then we're going to click on Replace. So if we want to change print providers, what you're going to notice is nothing appears below here. And that's just because sometimes the mock-up images are a little bit different. So I'm just going to look up mug, and then I am going to scroll down, and I am also going to type in district photo just to get their coffee mugs here. So I'm going to click into this one, then I'm going to click select and continue. So you'll notice that everything pretty much transferred. The only thing is our design is a little bit larger. So I'm just going to make this smaller. I'm going to delete this because it's kind of hard to tell the size and like match the size with the editor from my experience so far. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm just going to move it over again. We just want it in the center of these lines here, and we want to make sure it's aligned with that red horizontal line that's going through the image. Then if we preview here, we're going to see some really nice mock-ups. I actually really do prefer the mock-up images that District Photo has. So I am going to deselect some of these colors. I want the navy blue and I want the pink, and then I'm going to save from there. And then from there, we can see that we have already changed our print provider. And this is our final product if we wanted to switch to District Photo. I think, like I said, I prefer the District Photo mockups. I think they're really beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, and that's just me. And honestly, I could just use this as my main mockup photo or maybe my second or third mockup photo along with that trending mockup photo that I had earlier. But besides that, you would just publish that. You can, again, you could hide and store before you publish just to fix the mockups. When you do change print providers, things to know is that your current mockup photos will change. Also, the SEO may change as well. What you can do is you can deselect at the bottom here so that doesn't happen. And you do want to keep color sizes, prices, and SKUs though. We want to change that, and we do want to change shipping profiles. So if you want to change those, you can, and keep the mockups. We could just publish as is and change it. So I'm just going to publish to show how quickly this does this. So it's going to take a few moments, and then we will come back to that listing. Okay, so this is how the listing looks. As you can see, nothing changed because I didn't pull over the mockups. Now, what I would recommend is probably going back to that listing and using the mockups though, and then just re-uploading your mockup. I just wanted to show an example of how this looks if you don't change mockup images. These are fine to use, but personally, again, I prefer the district photo mockups. That's just my own preference though. So hopefully this video helped, and good luck with your new listings as you list more on Etsy. If you have any questions, please comment down below on this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video here.